Hey there, I got a great one for you today. Today we're going to do a mountain brandy. We're going to be using oats from Walmart. We're going to be using frozen mixed fruit from Walmart. This has pineapple, strawberry, peaches, and mango. And for the really exciting part, the wild yeast that we caught the other day. And if you haven't seen the video on capturing wild yeast, I'll put a link down in the show notes. So this should turn out really well. It is a super easy recipe. Mountain brandies are very good. Mountain brandy is just when you're mixing fruit and oats together to make your liquor. At least around here we call it mountain brandy. Other people may call it something different. But anyway, this is going to be a good one. Let's get into it. Well, what we're going to use for today's mountain brandy is we're going to use 8 pounds of frozen mixed fruit, and I wanted to try the pineapple, strawberries, peaches, and mango. And we're going to use 8 pounds of oats, and that is just the simple old-fashioned oats. Got this at Volley World. We're going to use 2 gallons of peach juice, and this is what I'm using is a Welch's peach medley. We're going to use 2 gallons of that. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of pectic enzymes, and we're going to use 16 pounds of sugar. And I'm trying to get to a specific gravity of at least 1.060. So all of this should get us there without much problem. If I have to go get some more sugar from over at the cabin, I will. But I think we'll get there. We'll test it to find out. So let's get to mixing this up. I'll show you the order in which I'm going to do it. Now, I didn't mention water just now, so we are going to be using some water. We're probably going to be using about 10 gallons, and that'll give us a total of about 12 gallons of liquid altogether. But I've got 4 gallons right now in the boiler heating up, because I'm going to get that to about 160 degrees, and then I'm going to dump in the oats. And then while we're waiting on all of that, I'm going to get these mixed fruit all mashed up, and I'm going to get the pectic enzymes in them because I want the pectic enzymes to start working on that fruit while all of this is happening over here. So let's get to that. Oh yeah, smelling good. These are still a bit frozen. I'm going to put a little bit of this 1 dill of juice in here, just to help make it easier to thaw this out a little bit. And I'm not worrying too much about, mashing these up completely, because all the flavor is still going to be there. We're going to put some pectic enzymes in here, and we'll get whatever sugars out of it we can get. But we're adding sugars to all this, and so I'm in a position where if I want a higher gravity, I can just boost it up with some more sugar, so I don't have to fully just demolish all this fruit. Give you a peek there. Man, that smells good. I'm going to go ahead and add the pectic enzymes, and we're going to use 2 teaspoons. Use my fancy new copper measuring cup. Let me find that. Okay, I'm going to get this stirred up in here. And we'll just let that sit and wait while the water's heating up and we do the oats. Now, just before we get up to temperature to put the oats in, I'm going to add the sugar. Because it's going to be easier to dissolve the sugar in the water before the oats get added. This is going to drop the temperature of the water down a little bit, and I'll have to wait a little bit longer for it to come back up to put the oats in, but that's all right. It's just going to be easier to stir this in and dissolve it. Okay, we're at 160 now, so it's time to add in the oats. I've turned the heat off, so I don't have to worry about anything scorching. Oh, this smells really good. Now with these oats, you don't have to worry about dough balls like you do with, corn, ground corn. These stir up pretty easily. All right, we got those stirred in. So we just got to let those oats sit for a little bit, and then we're going to toss them in the fermenter along with the fruit and our yeast. We'll make a new starter with the yeast, since we're using a wild yeast and we don't really know, how well it's going to work. We'll do a good starter once we've got our mash kind of down to temperature. Okay, now since one of the fruit in this mix is pineapple, which is somewhat acidic, I'm going to throw a handful of the crushed oyster. Let's do 1.5 handfuls. Now I'm going to add in the fruit mix. Now I'll just start scooping in the oats. Okay, oats and fruit are in. I'm going to kind of make a new starter for this mash. And the way I want to do that is I'll pour this in here. And then I'm just going to dip out some of this. And then we'll get that going, and then we'll dump that into the mash. I'm also going to take this sample, I'm going to put it in a pint jar, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to cool it down to 60 so I can check our starting gravity. Okay, so the starting gravity is 1.115-ish, and that's higher than I want it. So I am going to add more water into the fermenter over there so that that'll drop that specific gravity. I don't want it that high. That's like 15% alcohol, and I just don't want it to be that high on this recipe. Okay, our starter is ready with the wild yeast, so we're going to dump it in. It's good to go. I'm going to give that a stir and call it good. We'll come back a little later, see if he's bubbling. So it looks like that wild yeast is just loving this mash. This is about 4 hours after pitching the wild yeast starter. So it's looking good.